I would like to call the July 11th, 2024 call board meeting to order at 4:32 p.m. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Second.
Gibson, second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? I vote. Okay. The agenda is approved. And now to our budget presentation. So I will turn it over to Amy.
Now we're clapping.
Hey, I'll take it because I don't get that much.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, since we met last time at our first public hearing, nothing has changed. Not 1 cent has changed from the document you saw before.
Great.
We'll just kind of run through what all is in this budget. The increase in the FY25 budget from the FY24 budget includes at least a 3% increase for all certified and non-certified staff. It covers the 2,500 state increase for certified staff handed down by the state governor. We did increase the local supplement for certified from 11 to 12%. The TRS increase from 19.98% to 20.78%, and the increase in certified and non-certified state health insurance. Remind you that state health and TRS totaled about $1.4 million. We had textbook and curriculum increases of $766,000 plus. And the three things that caused the increase were salary benefit increases, textbooks and curriculum, and that does mean textbooks, digital workbooks, everything, all the components that go with that.
Cleaning services.
And adding, bringing ABM in-house. I said three things. It is salary, benefits, curriculum, textbooks, and that's it. I mean, it's those three things.
Well, some of the salary we can control, right? And then some is the benefits and the insurance we
The
cannot
benefits
control.
and
That's the three
insurance,
things, really.
that is a mandatory contribution on our part, so we don't control that.
I had a few people in the community question salary and benefits, and we have been losing particularly certified people for the previous 2 or 3 years in huge numbers because we're at a disadvantage to Cherokee, Cobb, Forsyth, some of the others on pay because they subsidize locally. And some of the changes we've made in salary, what was our turnover this year, Mr. Parker?
But we got 22 new teachers, and last year we had 50.
That's been cut in half.
Typically, it's been more like 35 or 40 is a normal year for us. Last year was a little higher than normal, but this year's been the lowest we've had in a long time. So
That's one of the factors that's making a difference in us retaining our personnel.
And Amy, also for clarity, the curriculum stuff,
Yes.
that's not a ongoing happening expense every year. This is kind
That's
of a
correct.
one-time event.
This is actually based on, I don't want to call it a law, it's a mandate handed down from the state level that we are to change, and we are limited to certain vendors on how to handle ELA across K-12. We did do a few changes in science and social studies, but the biggest part of that is ELA. And that is not a choice. Again, they give us a vendor list. We did vet them, have committees that went through all the materials. But every so many years, as anyone who is a former teacher knows, you do have to go through and revamp your textbooks or whatever your instructional materials are to make sure they match what the standards, the Georgia standards are for our educating students. So this is part of that. The state retooled, and Dr. Thomas probably can give you a much better description than I can of what they are doing in the ELA program. But it is not really an option. Which programs we choose are our option, but we have a list to choose from. But it is an effort to improve reading across the state of Georgia being handed down. And we have not had these requirements before. We did have a lot more local control. So, there are many systems that don't adopt new textbooks or curriculum it used to be a 7-year cycle. They didn't do that because they simply couldn't afford to. So they might have the same books for 15 years. We have not had to do that. We have been able to do adoptions when we wanted to locally and had a wider array of things to choose from. the state is trying to improve those, the reading in Georgia, and so this is their way, I think, of helping systems figure out how to make that happen. So,
I think that's very well said. Yeah. And then, like you said, though, this is the first time that Georgia's actually had like a steering committee to have a list of resources that systems can choose from. I mean, because typically there'd be a lot more local autonomy with that process, but not this time.
So all that to say that these increases, two of them at least, are kind of one-time things, bringing the custodial back in,
Right.
curriculum. I mean, we can't control the state of salaries.
we do not control the percentage we must contribute to TRS. We do not control how much state health premiums go up or down, or what is offered. We are given a package, and that's what we have. But we do have a required mandatory contribution for both. And that was sizable this year. We didn't think it would be that much, but it was 1.4, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Bottom line, Amy, there's no anticipation of raising the millage based on the digest we're expecting.
We do not actually have the digest yet. From information that has been shared with me at this time, they have said they do believe there will be a similar increase in the digest than there was in the previous year. If that holds true, I think we have some options where we would potentially not have to raise the millage. Until those documents come in, it's hard to say that hard and fast answer, but we do have significant fund balance that we can access. And I think with the combination of a couple of things, we can handle the budget without that millage increase. But until we have those documents and y'all vote, that's a big piece. I don't get to vote. So and y'all also would have to vote to have them to set the millage. So. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
All right, we'll open the floor. Do we have any public comments?
Mr. Boo, do you have any questions?
No.
All right.
We only have one public back there.
I guess we can call that section complete. All right.
Well, don't we need to maybe leave it open till 5 o'clock in case someone's coming from work or whatever?
I don't think so. We're supposed to move. We've got other items on our agenda to go ahead and do.
5 o'clock is executive session.
They all rolled it together at what, 5 o'clock? It was 4:30 and rolled and everything, but I don't care. We want to do that.
And if we want to maybe wait a little bit longer, make sure everybody else comes in.
It's your call.
Yeah, we can wait. It's fine. We'll wait a little bit longer.
Just a suggestion, just from being here for a while. If you want to like officially open the floor for public comment, since it's an agenda item, and then you can close it for public comment when you're ready.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll officially open the floor for comment.
I guess we need to go out and find some more public.
I think if our public doesn't want to comment, then
I see this as they trust us. Plus, we have the video so they can look at it later.
There's just 2 meetings, aren't there, right? Like, it's just 2 meetings today, 4:30 and 6. Right. That's what, so it's up to y'all.
Martha, how did you advertise?
It's 4:30 and 6.
But how did you, just 4:30 to 6?
Well, that,
Meeting.
let me roll this down.
Just for
And
clarification.
Amy had to advertise too.
When it comes to the regulations that are set by the Department of Education, there is no time limit on how long you have to leave it open.
Okay.
We do like to see in the minutes that, you've opened the floor for public comment and, given a few moments for anyone to,
Okay.
but let's see. So
I just want to be fair to the public.
that's, y'all vote, I know.
Okay, let's give it about 3 more minutes.
That's fine. I'd say give it a 4:45. Yeah.
4:42.
There's some people coming in, there'll probably be some public.
I don't think it's,
Oh, it's the painters. It's the painters.
Well, they're still public, right? No.
they're public,
Go
but
ask
not
Mike.
public for here.
They're also not
No,
public
they weren't here.
painters. I don't even get that confused.
It looked like,
Just for y'all's information too, we are required to put it in, the newspaper. So it has been in the newspaper since July 4th. The previous meeting was the same way, it was published at least a week ahead of time. There is no requirement to do that either, but we do try to put it in at least a week ahead of time so people have time to learn about it, read about it, and attend if they choose to.
Well, I'm glad you itemized the categories that did go up in our control or not non-control. I did have a concerned text from a member of the community, and they were not happy. But I gave them the same information, and I think the newspaper, I would say this even if Dan were not here, but I think the article in the newspaper last week did a very good job.
Yes.
Very good job about what all was involved and explained it. So, all we can do is all we can do.
Well, the money, the increases by and large are for faculty, staff, facilities, which contribute directly to the students themselves. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we close the opportunity for public comment on that.
All right. We have a motion by Mr. Bartrell, and a second by Joe Wiggington. Any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right, public comments are closed. So the next item on our agenda is executive session. So I'll make a motion to adjourn the executive session to discuss or deliberate upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action, or dismissal, or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, or to interview applicants for the position of superintendent, and to consult and meet with legal counsel pertaining to pending or potential litigation, settlement, claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought by or against the school district or an officer or employee, or in which the officer or employee may be directly involved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Lee. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right. We are adjourned to executive session at 4:45 p.m. A motion was made by Amy Gibson, seconded by Tommy Bartrell to come out of executive session at 5:52 p.m. The vote was 5-0. No other action was taken. Do I hear a motion to approve the executive session as presented?
All right, look,
All in favor? 5-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Amy,
I'll second.
Amy, is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right, we are adjourned at 5:54 p.m. We'll be back and start the regular meeting at 6.